Hello. Welcome back to the I'm Just Playin podcast. So basically, we had a little bit of a hiccup, just a tiny one. As you may have noticed, Joseph isn't here anymore. We had some problems. Well, not so much we, as in he had to leave indefinitely. I mean, for the time being. Maybe one day he'll be back. Who knows? But Joseph, if you're listening to this, we're rooting for you. But as they say, the show goes on. I mean, we had to miss last week because bereavement in the family from my side, and of course Joe being AFK. But we're back, and I've brought a friend, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I always wanted to come and hang out with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, Brian is a guy I met online, just randomly, playing video games. And somehow we ended up being best buddies. And we run a community together, a gaming community for some fucking reason. Don't know how that came about, but...
I mean,
we'll get into that later on in the show. But first of all, Brian, what have you been playing?
Well, if you look at my Steam profile right now, it says 11 hours of Civ 6. I wonder why that is.
I mean, it literally came out like 11 hours ago.
Well, I don't think quite 11 hours ago, but, probably like 24 hours ago.
Right. So
these pesky things called work.
So tell me about Civ 6. I wanna know. I mean, I'm aching to play.
Well, Civ 6 is a good continuation of what was Civ 5. And Civ 5, honestly, I loved it to death because I put in over 1,000 hours into it. It's a game that you can play at home with nobody or with somebody. I ended up meeting quite a few people that I still play to this day with through Civ 5 games. And the best thing I think about it is it challenges you on multi-levels other than just one build order. The big change in Civ 6 is now, it's not like policy trees anymore. It's like researching things, and then you put in amount of cards that say, okay, now you get a little bit more damage against barbarians, you get a little bit more money from trade routes, you get a little faith from this, and they change over the eras. Now, I haven't gone past, I would say, rifleman tech yet, or musketman tech, so I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I mean, do you think it's basically the same-ish? I mean, generally speaking, like, England is a naval kind of civ to be playing. America is a very kind of war-hungry kind of one.
Well, you can play them multiple ways now. It's not so much there's only one way to play. Like, that was the problem with Civ 5, is there's one build order, and it's the only build order, and if you don't do it, you're going to lose. So, I like that it's adding a little bit more flexibility into it. But that's what I feel so far. But the best thing, though, Sid, is the whole multiplayer improvements.
Okay, tell me. I want to know. Because multiplayer in Civ gets kind of boring.
Civ 5.
I mean, in Civ 5, for definite. The multiplayer in that is boring as shit. Like, holy Christ.
Well, let's put it this way. They listened to some of our stuff in Civ 5, the problems. The biggest problem with Civ 5 is it didn't have integrated mod support for multiplayer. And it also had a problem with keeping people synced and connected together in a game when you have like 6 or 7 people in.
Right.
And you would always have to remake and start from nothing, or load a game and start again, and eventually people would just get pissed off and just screw off, But this time, let's say you desync right now, Sid.
Okay.
Within a minute, you're synced back, and the game hasn't stopped.
Oh, okay.
Now, is it perfect?
Feature.
But no. I mean, the thing is, with a big multiplayer game, it's going to desync. you're going to have a lot of stuff going on. So it's got to do that.
All right. Well, I mean, my problem with Civ 5, and by the way, Civ 5 is like my favorite game, is that when you play multiplayer, just no one actually ever finishes the game. And no one actually ever wins. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I got to go now. It's been 6 hours. Kind of got to go to work now. 5 minutes late already for work.
Well, I played a game yesterday for about 6 hours.
As you do.
People left, yes. It was quite evident who was ahead and who wasn't, but they added a new speed to the game. They added online speed, which is double the fastest normal speed.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel it yet. It's still like screwing with your idea of timings. It's like you can get a tech in 3 turns. And that's pretty fast.
That is very fast.
But that's part of the new systems too. Like, one of the coolest things I think about the game is that it has the Eureka system. It's like you do something, you get a tech boost. And sometimes it's 50%. I don't know about later in the game. For example, you want to build ships. You need to build a city on the coast. And you get 50% of that research done so you can build fishing boats faster.
Okay. I mean, so far so good. I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, I say it looks pretty good, but I mean, we had a lot of controversy regarding the art style this time around. What do you think of the art?
Well, to me, I don't think we should keep going in the same direction every single game, or you're just basically copying one to another, you know?
I mean, do you like it?
I like it. I mean, it's different. I guess it could be said in some ways it's crisper, in some ways it's not. For example, you can read a lot of body language from the person that you're dealing with. On the Civ screen, you know, when you're on a single-player game, you can see little hints of how they really think. And another thing I thought that was really cool about the art style is that you can change the time of day that you're playing.
Oh, okay. I mean, I kind of like the fact that they're going with a new art style, but I think the actual character models themselves look a bit shit. I mean, they're trying to Pixarify it, which is fine. I get that. Like, it makes it a bit more timeless. But, I mean, they could have put a bit more work into it.
Well, I think they put a lot of work into other things. I'd rather them have crappy art and a solid game and solid multiplayer than a beautiful game that crashes every 2 minutes on multiplayer.
No Man's Sky. What? Who said that? Who said that?
Oh, we don't want to get into that.
So have you been playing anything else?
I've been playing WoW. I've been playing some Battlefield 1.
Oh, Battlefield 1. Tell me, talk to me. I want to know about this.
Battlefield 1, I've been playing with the single-player campaign.
Okay.
And the multiplayer also. The single-player campaign seems really interesting. It's got a lot of heart in the stories. It's more of a personal story kind of thing. It's less of you versus a million people all the time. More like you're struggling against a certain group of enemies. Like, they even did one with the New Zealanders in Turkey.
Okay. See, I've been watching a few reviews. One of the more standout ones was Total Biscuits, and he basically just shat on it, really, the single player campaign. Calling, I think there was one where you're fighting in Italy, or as an Italian guy, and he basically said this is fucking stupid because it's very unrealistic. Very, you're still the Space Marine with automatic weapons, fighting, whatever, and you're basically invincible at this point. I mean, would you agree?
I mean, sorry. I mean, if you're gonna look at it, as a perfect reality simulator, it is going to be the most boring shit you've ever played. Okay? There's a thing with the different guns where these guns were available in World War One, but they were not available to everybody, and they were not widespread. Most people had single-shot weapons with a bolt action. So, how fun is it to play an entire game with only bolt action weapons with no scopes?
I mean, that's a debatable topic. To be honest, I wouldn't like that because that sounds dull as shit. But yeah.
It wouldn't have the pacing that you want from an FPS.
Yeah.
And they had to make some concessions in it.
Of course.
You have to take a look at it and you say, well, I'm a game developer. Let's make a game that's realistic, everybody says. And then you make a realistic game and nobody buys it. Except for the hardcores, and you don't pay your bank debts and you start crying.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget is Battlefield is a major franchise. It's meant to appeal to, everyone. All right. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be the same game, just set in a different place.
Now, if you really want to learn a lot about World War One, because you want to get to know about it because you played Battlefield 1, you should go to check out an actual YouTube channel called The Great War. I've been watching those videos for a long time, and that it's like a real-time accounting, week by week, of the real war, and it started in 2014.
Okay. So it's doing like every week what happened in that week, however many years ago.
It's talking all about what happened, the conflicts that were happening, interesting things about the war, the culture. It's really deep. I'm a bit of a history buff, so I really get into it.
Okay.
But that would be also why I like Hearts of Iron 4 and CK2 and all these other things.
Fair enough. Cool. I mean, on the complete flip side, I've just been playing Rocket League. I mean, I took a break from Rocket League for like a few months now because it got a bit too much. And I'm an achievement hunter where I only play games for the achievements now. And when they started adding more and more achievements with every fucking update, that's when I was like, okay, no more. But I started playing again. And have you played the Rumble mode?
No. I haven't really played Rocket League since we did together. I mean, that was a little while ago, too.
That was a year ago.
Where does the time go?
Oh, mate. But yeah, so Rocket League now has this thing where it has like power-ups, kind of like Mario Kart, where you've got fucking like spring-loaded punching gloves and like teleporters and stuff where you could basically just fuck up the game. Which
I mean, I heard something about spikes and plungers.
Yeah, dude, like that. Like you could fire a plunger at the ball and drag it with you to wherever you're going, or you get a grappling hook, fire it at the ball, and then pull yourself to the ball, and shit like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little addicted to it. Like, I really want to play it again and again. And I'm not like that. I'm kind of like, most of the time I'm bored of games quite quickly. Like I
can understand that.
I mean, I was playing Call of Juarez, Gunslinger, a couple of weeks ago, and that was going to be last week's. This is what I've been playing, which is really fun. However, it's really just a big mess on the screen, which is annoying because everything's done in the the Borderlands cell shaded look.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the cell shade sometimes, but it's been overdone lately.
It's been overdone, but it also when you have a lot of bad artists working on the same style and it just doesn't fit right, and on top of that, the field of view is horrifying. Like I can't see shit, and it just feels terrible to play. And like when you have like all the black outlines on everything, they all just merge together, and you're like, oh man, what am I looking at? What is this?
It's art, okay? Don't you understand?
Mate, it's shit.
Art.
It's fucking horrible. Why am I looking at this?
Look, I've seen some crappy art, and people just say it's the best thing in the world. And sometimes in the back of my mind, I wonder if they're just saying it's good so they feel edgy.
I'm sure they do fucking feel edgy, but at the end of the day, a man fucking paid for a fucking video game. I'm trying to play it. I can't see shit. Like, what the hell? It's just
I don't know,
a
dude.
big blur of fucking lines. Then you got the film grain on top of it and the desaturized shit all over. Oh, God. Like, I really like the gameplay. It's fun. The story is funny as well. I like it. The narrator is hilarious.
But you know what? You
What?
know what? Honestly, I'm going to say that the cell shaded worked for the Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked for the new Batman Telltale game.
Oh, I don't.
It really
like
worked
the
for
Batman
that.
Game.
Well,
I mean,
I hear it keeps getting better.
yeah. I mean, like, The Wolf Among Us was a very good game. Like, I was very surprised by that. And The Walking Dead Season 1 was amazing. However, right, the new Batman game from Telltale, that looks so dull and so uninteresting. I think they really fucked up with that one.
I mean, whatever works for you, right?
Yeah. So,
some people just play it for Batman.
I mean, that's literally the only reason to. I mean, here's the thing: like, Telltale need to like step up their game. Like internally, their game, they're stagnant. They haven't done anything interesting since The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, and I wish they would have gone further with The Wolf Among Us. They really stopped before they could really get deeper into it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's based off a pretty good graphic novel series, and there's so much to it. I just wish they did more. I wish they just did better. I mean, they got this tried and true formula that they're doing, and it's always the same, where nothing actually makes a difference. Nothing actually, whatever choice that you make in the game doesn't do anything but, attempt to make you feel bad and put a piece of text in the corner that says, "This motherfucker's going to remember this. Oh, wow, whoop-de-doo." It's not like they're going to do anything different.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a crap fest.
That's Telltale, the most dull gaming company in the world.
Well, it's better than Double Fine that takes all your money and laughs about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Double Fine are run by a guy that just fucking is just a piece of shit. I swear to God, anyone who listens to this podcast, right? If any of these motherfuckers that I bitch about ever listen, they're just gonna hate me. Like, I'm just blacklisted everywhere.
Well, it's okay, because I'm sure TB is freaking blacklisted with like 90% of people.
I'm sure he is, but he doesn't give a fuck. He just sits there and moans about stuff all day. Whatever. Anyway, so let's get into the news. Some good times, some bad times. So tell me, Brian, give me some news. What's been happening in the world?
Well, let's talk about this Nintendo Switch.
Okay. What do you think?
I mean, look, I haven't owned a console since a PS2. And that was only because I was in a position where I really couldn't have a good computer in the Army.
All right.
So
I mean,
really,
PlayStation 2 is the best console ever made. Let's face it.
Well, I'm personally an NES guy myself, if I could go back to it. But, oh, wait, we can't. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
I was watching the video. I don't know if you've seen the video.
I have seen it.
But I don't understand what they're trying to do here. Are they trying to get my age demographic? Are they trying to get the old people, or are they trying to get the young people? And Nintendo to me has always been for young gamers or retro gamers.
I think, personally, I think it's just another dumb gimmick.
I don't think it's going to hold up to heavy usage.
Oh, God, no. I mean, the way that they're marketing it is they're marketing it to, the good-looking, attractive, young 20-something, millennials who are, like, surrounded by gaming and nothing but gaming, and they're, like, still holding on to old franchises that really haven't innovated in a very long time. And it's just a gimmick. It's all... Nintendo haven't done anything major in a long while. Like, the Wii was innovative. It was good. It was interesting. It got very young people and it got very old people and everyone in between. Yeah. And it was a great get everyone together experience. The Wii U was what a waste. Let's not even talk about that. I mean, I'm
Well,
sure everyone's got their little kind of like, oh, I really like the Wii U and I'm a Nintendo fan. Yeah, sure, great. Carry on. You play games at your 480p resolution and fucking playing the same fucking Mario game over and over and over again. Cool.
well, I mean, I tell you what I do like is I do like the 3DS, and I got
See,
the
the
3DS
3DS is good.
For my lady because she wants to practice English, and it's a great way to get someone hooked in because they want to play the game, and they're going to start learning English by playing the game and not caring about what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 3DS is a good console because it is a handheld device that is. It's got a few good games. It's easy to use. It's fun and it's good. However, Nintendo Switch kind of looks like it's eating up the home console market.
Oh, but did you see that? But did you see them trying to advertise like it's going to play Skyrim on there?
Mate,
and guess what? Bethesda came out and said that it wasn't listed as a title for that.
Mate, there you go. There you go. I don't know. The Nintendo Switch being that small. Well, I mean, I got a number of complaints with it. One,
well, it is NVIDIA powered, so maybe it has something good in there. I don't know,
but it's got an NVIDIA chip that you use in an Android phone.
Well, it's got to be portable, and it can't use up battery very quickly.
Well, that's fucking shit then.
I don't understand why we want to focus on being portable. I'd rather have something that works really good, that has a good feel, that I could just set up at home or set up somewhere else that has power, and I'll be fine.
Exactly. Absolutely. I don't want to be carrying around this bulky little fucking tablet that can play mediocre games at mediocre quality. All right, on the fucking airplane or whatever. Maybe, okay, the one place where I would possibly use it would be playing at my TV, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need a shit, but I don't want to pause. So I will pick up the fucking tablet and go and take a shit and continue playing. That's the only use for it.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, nobody sits on their couch and plays on a tiny screen anyways.
Exactly. But and then I think they're really trying to milk the whole multiplayer thing there with the controllers. And the controllers look too fucking small to be comfortable.
Yeah,
by any stretch.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I want to be in on that Switch. But I tell you what I do want to be in on is that free NES Classic. I want in on that.
Mate, you have every ROM for the NES. You have emulators. Why would you want an NES Classic?
I've got people here in the house that would probably have fun with it and that probably can't handle a high-end gaming idea. The NES is a jump and a B button and a start and a select button and a D-pad. That's it. There's no 50 billion buttons. There's no sticks. It's just as basic as it gets, but it does so much.
I'm not sold.
Well, you don't have to be. You don't have to be sold.
I think it's just. I think it's Nintendo being shit at what they're doing. They're just holding on to the past for no reason. It's a box. How much is it going to be? It's going to be at least what, $100, $200.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Because
it's going to come out at Christmas. It's going to target itself to weeaboos and people who just can't let go. And it's going to come with 30 games that have. It
is $60. $60.
$60 for 30 old as shit games. Nah, I'm not sold. They're not worth it, mate.
That's $2 a game. $2 a game, and then if you want a second controller, you're gonna need about another $5, I guess, $5 or $10.
Nah.
And it's HDMI. It's not the RGB anymore, or whatever it is.
The Scarlet.
Old RCA stuff.
I don't care. I have all of those games and every other Nintendo game on my fucking MacBook, and my MacBook's a piece of shit.
I can't believe you got a MacBook.
I needed a MacBook.
Traitor. You traitor.
Listen, do I game on it? No, I do work on it. So, and I have it literally stays in my bag until I'm in the office. My point is, right, is that if they wanted to, all they had to do was to release a fucking mobile app, and it would do exactly the same. They released the official Nintendo Entertainment System mobile app for Android and iPhone, and they would make billions within 30 seconds. Instantly. That's instantaneous. But no, they're making a stupid, shitty little box to connect up to your TV. You don't need it.
Well, I mean, one of the selling points it says is it works with NES Virtual Console games. I don't know what this is because I don't own a Wii or the Virtual Console or whatever they do. But I guess it means that you can download games and play them through their service online, sort of like Steam, I guess. But
again, I don't care. It looks like shit, and it's just another. It's dumb, unnecessary tech that doesn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen. If anyone who is that much into the NES that they wanted to fucking play old NES games, they would buy an old NES.
Well, you do have a point there, but I don't think I would buy an NES anymore, even though I could do it right now. Downtown, there's a place where there are stacks of games and stacks of NESs and stacks of SNESs, but how good is it going to be, you know?
Yeah, it will be an authentic nostalgic experience. As about as authentic as it possibly gets. You have to plug it in by RCA. You have to plug it in by, shitty cables.
That was the first and only console I owned when I was growing up. That was it. And I gave it up so I could play with bows and arrows.
Fair enough. I mean...
And then my father introduced me at 5 years old to PCs. And this little game called Rogue. I'll have to give it to you to play, but I've never beaten it. It's basically a dungeon diver, and where we get these roguelike that everybody loves to throw around when it's really hard, you know?
Uh-huh.
But,
fair enough. All right. So, what else have we got in the news? Well, did you know that the voice actors are on strike?
What?
Yeah, the voice actors are on strike. There's a voice actors union up in America. The SAG-AC something, I don't know. Point is, they're on strike.
Some acronym that nobody cares about.
Yeah, so basically, they're on strike. And they literally turned down a 9% pay rise increase for the strike.
So, I'll tell you my whole thing on strikes is, yeah, I understand you want to strike, but eventually there will be enough people that don't care about the strike that will take your work away anyways.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the other thing is that only 25% of voice actors in video games are actually part of this union. Only 25%. It's not a major number. It's not like, say, the Writers Guild of America, where basically the entire of 2008's TV lineup was completely fucked because there was no TV being made. There was nothing being written.
Well, I mean, the thing is that eventually you don't want these guilds getting too strong and driving up costs out to enormous amounts. Should a voice actor get paid as much as a actor? No. Should a voice actor get paid decent? Yes, but come on. How far do you want to go? What they really need to work on is the contracting of voice actors, and also the contracting of artists. Like people that are graphic designers, they have like really crappy contracts where they get pushed out like 4 months before the end of the development, and they're without work for like 6-8 months at a time.
I mean, but that's just part of the process, because usually the art's always finished beforehand. I'm saying this as an artist, by the way.
Yeah, but I think that there should be a more stable market as an artist.
I mean, you could say the same for voice actors. don't you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a different kind of artist, basically,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a voice actor, but I would want to get paid decently, and I would want to have constant work. I wouldn't want to be sitting there wondering where is my next peanut butter sandwich coming from.
Yeah, true. I mean, their main concern is that voice actors, even though they're paid relatively well, I mean, they're paid for their time. So if they spend, 10 days recording audio, they get paid for 10 days of work, whatever the rates are. But they feel that they should be earning more depending on the success of the game, i.e. getting a piece of the pie. Because at the end of the day, say, for example, like Uncharted 4, Nathan Drake is the selling point of the game, and Nathan Drake is voiced by Nolan North. Do you feel that someone like Nolan North, who is like the personality of this character, should be paid more so as the game succeeds?
I don't know. Then again, I think of it in a sort of a different way that is not so great, is the John St. John sort of idea, because John St. John is the voice of Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
There's no other guy. But didn't Konami screw with the voice actor for Snake like 50 million times?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they got rid of David Hayter.
It still worked.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the thing, though. David Hayter embodied the Snake character throughout all the other games, and up until, Kiefer Sutherland came along and took that away from him.
That was horrible.
Yeah, honestly, it's horrible for him, but
I don't feel that Kiefer Sutherland made a good Snake voice.
I think he did pretty good, and I'm a Metal Gear fan. Because
I've watched him too much in the 24 show.
I know, but I
don't know if you ever watched that.
He did good, though. In the Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes, he did amazing. Like, he brings out this subtlety, he brings out the actual kind of, like, tormented personality within of this, militia leader, which is what he is at the end of the day.
I really think Kiefer Sutherland is basically that person every day. Because he's never had to play anything else. It's like, you have 24 hours to disarm a bomb. Send me something on my cell phone. Oh, I can do this just fine. And scream and interrogate people and not care. Hey, wait, that sounds like Metal Gear Solid. You'd be perfect.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel bad for someone like David Hayter because he's put all this work and effort into this, and then he gets shafted because he's no longer part of what is the best iteration of the franchise thus far. I.e., like, this is as far as the tech has come so far, and it's going to be the biggest selling game of the franchise. And he gets shafted completely. So I feel bad for him. But I enjoyed Kiefer Sutherland as Snake.
I like Kiefer Sutherland as an actor. I don't know if I like him so much as a voice actor. And Metal Gear Solid 5 really felt so phoned in because of what Konami did.
That's not all Konami's fault, really. But what about...
And I'm totally for Kojima. Kojima is a crazy genius that just makes stuff work.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so what about with what's it called? What's the name of the Sam Fisher? Is that his name? Splinter Cell.
Sam Fisher. Oh, you're talking about the Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Haven't they changed his voice actor like 5 times?
No, they've changed it once from a guy called Michael Ironside, who really embodied, again, Sam Fisher. And then they replaced him with some other dude, which just sounds very generic.
When did they make that change? I'm trying to think about game-wise.
Blacklist, I think.
I really haven't played much after like Splinter Cell 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The other ones really haven't drawn me to it, and maybe that's one of the reasons. It's like, if you take a look at it, okay, there was a video put out by CD Projekt Red. I'm a fanboy, I won't lie.
Of course.
That they showed the trouble it was and how much difficult work it was to get the lines for their game, for their voice acting.
What do you
And
mean?
they basically showed a video where they brought in this star that's supposedly famous for Poland, and she tried to do the voice lines, and they basically ran her through the ringer. This is not what we want. Do it again. This is not what we want. Do it again. Over and over and over and over.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, because some people aren't good at voice acting, even if they are good at acting.
But the whole thing is that it has to be exactly right, and it takes so much time doing that. Remember, they talked about how much work they put into, how much time they put into just the voice acting. And it's not just English, it's Polish, it's like 4 different other languages I think it's spoken in. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, you also have the translations as well for localization, depending on the size of the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are voiced, some of them aren't. I've been listening to the audiobooks of The Witcher, and they're really interesting after you've played the game. Now, have I beaten Witcher 3? No. Am I going to beat it? Yes, one day. But I like the universe. I like the universe. I really do. It's gritty. It's got no holds barred. They're not worried about what to include in there because of what other people say. They try to stay true to the story, and I really wish that people would, as devs, just not care about all these naysayers and just make their world and try to make it clean and non-buggy. Oh God, how many games today are released so buggy though?
Oh, mate, let's not get into that. Moving on, let's get to the slippery slope. This is probably the fastest this podcast has ever gone through, like the introductory segments.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing, is it, to get things done?
Yeah. I think it's because Joseph liked to ramble, to be honest. But that's just...
Well, I mean, I like to make my point and get past it unless it's something that I'm really irritated about.
Yeah, of course. So, we're going to be talking about communities. Gaming communities in particular, because that's how you and I both met. And it's, to be honest, I find it quite fascinating. Like, it's almost the most raw possible experience in a primal kind of way of how people come together and form these tribes. And in a previous episode about tribalism, we were talking about how people, come together and band for good or for worse. And make these communities themselves. I mean, you'll find like subreddits dedicated to an entire game. You'll find or a type of gaming or whatever. But specifically, I like to talk about things like clans and guilds and communities.
I've been in quite a few of all of these things.
Yeah. So tell me about the very first clan, guild, or community that you were a part of.
Well, I guess the first thing I would ever be a part of was a group. We met up at a LAN place in Venezuela.
Okay.
And we played Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. This is back in the day when, you didn't have much graphics, fidelity, Yeah. And we were seen as the elitists because we played that and didn't play CS or Call of Duty or something. Because with Rainbow Six, it's one hit can kill you. A good rush can kill you. All kinds of things. It's just brutal,
Yeah.
And I started my way on the red team, which was the shitty team, and I eventually secured a spot on the blue team, which was the good team. And we ended up running a bunch of tournaments. And then one day, it just sort of, we all got to a certain point where we couldn't do it anymore, and I left, and they left, and it just fizzled out,
Okay. So this one was kind of built on you knowing these people in real life.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. What year was this?
Don't ask me. I couldn't tell you. It had to be before 2000 because I joined the military in 2001, so it
Okay,
wasn't then.
fair enough. All right, so all right, then what was the first like internet-based community that you were a part of?
Ah, yes. Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh,
I will not name the guilds. I can't remember the first guild I was in on Star Wars Galaxies, but I can remember the second one because it had the most insanity in it. The first one, we sort of built a city. We were all mellow. We were just figuring out the game. It was brand new. We had just bought it, But the second guild, oh God, the second guild. The second guild was basically organized Rome.
okay.
And by Rome, I mean there was debauchery of any sort of kind. Okay,
Explain.
so, well, you had couples that played, you had couples that didn't play together, you had just regular females, you had regular males, and it was open season. It was so open season that anyone did whatever they wanted to in private messages and private groups. And
Oh, okay. So it's a bit frisky. Brian,
look,
what you been up to, huh?
I really didn't get that crazy until I got to WoW, but I did get somewhat frisky. Yes, there were a couple women in there that I really had a good time with.
Wait, so did
One
you
really,
did you meet these people in real life?
these two, no.
Okay, thank the Lord. Okay, carry on. Go on.
Okay, so that got a little bit complicated though.
Okay.
Is there was a lot of stuff going on in their lives, and even though actually it was ruining some of their relationships because
Ooh.
they that I mean, we were younger and we weren't understanding how to balance things out. And the second one, I found out later when I had, left the game because the game went shitty, that she met up and she banged like 5 or 6 guild members at a party.
Oh wow.
I'm not even kidding. She was pretty and all. I totally would have done it, but not with 5, 6 others. Dude, shit. God. But
What?
she was fucking slightly off, but she was fun and she was creative and she wanted to talk crazy and dirty and shit. And it's like, um, I mean, somebody gives you that kind of attention, you're really not going to say no
Oh,
because it's
okay.
virtual and there's no STDs online, bro.
That is weird.
What, dude? That's just the beginning.
Okay, go on. Then. Go on.
Okay, so I moved from that to WoW, World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've played that since the beginning. I got a beta key into it and I joined in. And vanilla that everybody talks wonderful about. Yes, it was wonderful, but it was shitty too. And we liked our shittiness. And I went from an initial guild on the Horde side, which is the sort of like the quote evil side or ugly side because it's got orcs and trolls and stuff.
Yeah.
And the drama that was in that guild, oh my God.
What do you mean by drama?
Oh, dude. Okay. Think about this. How hard is it to get 10 people to do the same thing together coordinated?
I mean, from experience, very hard. But go on.
Now think about doing this with 40 people.
That just sounds like cancer.
Now think about doing this with 40 people, shitty voice comms, and lag, because this wasn't the age of everybody having a cable modem and having good internet.
Oh boy.
And the age of not having good strats for everything because nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. And basically, you carried about 5 to 10 people of that. And sometimes, if the right thing happened, one person could kill all 40 of you.
Oh boy. So it's a Leroy Jenkins situation.
Worse.
Oh. Well.
But anyways, so I was a shaman for first part, and it was okay. But the problem is that the people, there was a lot of yelling. There was a lot of people not understanding how to manage people. There were different class leads. So a warlock is a class. You have a class lead. You have a shaman class lead. And you have one raid leader and then 8 class leads or something like that. I can't remember how many classes there were. And then you have some other officers. And then there's loot systems. And some did this thing called DKP, Dragon Kill Points.
Okay.
But other people would always overrule it by an officer and say, no, this gear is going to this person because we want them geared up first. Now, I started to notice that, yes, the main tank got gear before other people. It was understandable. The main tank is the guy who takes all the damage in the front. And if you can gear up one faster than the other, it's better because you're going to heal less on that one person. And they're going to get benefits out of the gear that make everyone else's job easier. So it's a as you say, slippery slope,
Okay.
because if you do it too much and for too long, discontent starts.
I can imagine it kind of gets a bit nepotistic.
Yeah, nepotism has nothing on this. So then it's healers, and we had enough healers where I thought, well, you sort of just spread the gear out because honestly, to try to gear up 1 out of 8 healers is not going to be a good thing. But what ended up happening is the GM started going out with one of the main healers, and she started getting a lot of gear all of a sudden.
Oh, okay.
And we would delay raids for her to get on and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, I left that guild and I did horrible things on my way out because I was tired of it. I totally left that side of the game and started from nothing and ground my way up all the way again, which wasn't an easy feat. And I went Alliance and the most broken class in the game, which was Warlock. That the only reason people brought you on a raid of 40 people is to summon them into the instance. In other words, teleport them.
Okay.
And the mechanic was so bad because you had inventory slots, yeah?
Yeah.
Sort of like, you remember in Deus Ex when you're there and you've got like no inventory slots, you can only carry like one gun and some ammo?
Yeah.
That's about how it was in the beginning.
Oh.
So every single time you wanted to teleport someone, you needed a shard. A shard is generated by killing someone and casting a spell at the same time they die.
Oh, okay.
Now, the only things you can get shards from is things of your difficulty level. You can't farm like baby things and just get what you need.
Yeah.
So every single time we raided, and we would raid for raid up to 6 hours a night for all of the weekend, 3 days, 4 days a week. And every day I would have to spend an hour and a half with a friend helping, because if I did it by myself, it'd take 3 hours to farm shards. And they gave me bigger bags just so I could carry more shards to teleport all the guild leaders in instead of having them walk in like everyone else. Everyone had to be there except for the guild leaders.
Huh.
And they'd be summoned in, so they wouldn't have to worry about anything. And it was like, oh God. But that guild that I got into was nuts. It was called, I can't say, because it would be too famous. But the guy would pop a freaking vein every single time we'd wipe. He would start yelling at people, calling them useless, worthless pieces of shit. It's like, you're going to get kicked out the guild right now if you don't fucking fix this. Just go on for like 20 minutes after a death.
Oh, that's a bit excessive.
Oh, dude, this guy. But you know why everybody stayed?
Why?
Results.
Okay.
We downed shit fast because everybody didn't want to hear him say shit.
Well,
And then,
I guess that's one managerial method.
well, he was basically a Hitler that was very vocal. He was not German, but he was very vocal. And we got to a point where he ended up quitting the game because his girlfriend told him. Because his girlfriend told him to. And just before he quit the game, he had the girlfriend take an amazing piece of gear away from all the tanks and the DPS that wanted it. It was called the Sulphurous Hand Ragnaros. It was a legendary. This was a very rare thing to have back in the day, not like today. And she couldn't even use it properly because the game was bugged. That her class couldn't do it.
Okay.
And it destroyed the guild right there.
Wow.
All the people that wanted that piece of gear and she got it instead just screwed off. Now, I get into the guild where I had a harem.
A what?
A harem.
You had... Okay, go on.
I had a set of girls that I had for pleasure during raids. And I got them killed quite often.
What the... Okay, go on.
Okay, so there was this one girl that was like part Native American. She was nuts as hell. Oh my God, she was like bipolar and then some.
All right.
Or is it manic depressant is the correct term? I can't remember. She was fun. She would actually... This was back in the day of Yahoo and everything. She would Yahoo webcam in the middle of the raid while we were raiding. And, I'd be having a good time doing my job because as a warlock I didn't have to do shit. But she'd be dying because she couldn't push the buttons to stay alive while she was doing other things with herself.
Oh.
And that was one of at least 7.
Oh, okay.
In that guild.
Pimp Master Brian.
And oh God.
I see.
Oh God.
Well then.
I won't say all the details, but it was fun because it gave me something to do for 6 hours at night while everyone else was suffering. Because when you raid with 40 people, you're suffering. Because it's like trying to herd cats, okay?
Okay.
You can't herd cats. They're just going to kill you. But, no, it was a lot of fun. And I was a very angry person back then. So, the whole thing of the angry guild leader, it sort of went with me. I don't know why, but,
Fair enough.
And then, there's... through the guilds and through the games, I went through casuals and hardcores, and now I'm in a moderately serious guild with a famous YouTuber in it, surprisingly. And I tank or I DPS, and I don't really feel pressured to do so much anymore, and it feels nice,
Yeah. So, now that you mention it, I'm getting flashbacks of when I was part of this community. It's a very different community, by the way. So, my film career began in The Sims 2 back in 2005.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. So, yeah, it was 2004, 2005. And I was... this was before YouTube, actually. Way before YouTube. We were there as YouTube happened. And there was a thing called Machinima. Well, Machinima is now a bastardization of what it used to be. It was all about...
they did that stuff on WoW, too.
Yeah, so we were part of this... the Machinima community, where we even had books and stuff published. Yeah, I know. I still have those books. I was a big fan of The Sims 2, and I started making films in those. And then I found this website online. It was called Sims99.com. I don't think it's around anymore. But
I really doubt it is.
I highly doubt that. But yeah, we made short films and music videos and stuff in The Sims 2. and the forums were great. And here's the thing:
Back-
all the other members were just women, middle-aged women.
What?
And there's
Oh dear.
yeah, and
Well, that's like the two demographics that play that game: filmmakers and freaking middle-aged women that hate life.
Exactly. So I'm 15 years old, right? And I pretty much spend all day and all night talking to these women. And like, I'm not the kind of person that like does the whole fake name thing. You know, when you're online, you have your little gamer tag, your little cool name. Look at me, my name's XX69 Pussy Slayer. Yeah, that shit. I was never about that. My name was always just Sid.
Well,
and
I've had basically 3 different names, but
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that later. But yeah, so I was always just Sid, and I always use my own face. Because I've no interest in using
beautiful face.
Thank you. I've never been about that whole using memes or like video game characters or whatever as my display picture. I don't see the point in it. So I'm there. I'm just talking to these people about stuff and commenting on their little video that they made, and they comment on mine and blah blah blah. Everything's having a good time. And quite a few of them would add me on MSN and would chat and stuff.
Oh God, MSN back in the day, jeez.
So we would be chatting away on MSN, and then like I'm just getting this flashback of this one this lady that I used to speak to a lot. She got real frisky, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking back on it now, and I'm like, mate, I was 14, 15 at the time. She's technically a pedophile at this point.
Well, actually,
and I didn't think about that at the time.
Actually, I've got an interesting story about that too.
Yeah,
but you go ahead and finish.
Yeah, so she was a Mormon. I didn't know what a Mormon was at the time, and she was telling me, and I was like, "What the fuck is a Mormon?" So she'd explain the whole that religion and what they believe and all that stuff. I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" Right? And she's from Utah and all of that, and she'd start talking frisky and shit, and then so this is like sexting before sexting.
Well,
yeah, I think I still have her on Facebook. That's the scariest bit. She had like 2 kids as well, which is even worse. So this woman's got 2 kids, talking, all seductive and shit on MSN, and every now and then the webcam would come on. She'd send pictures, and I'm like, hold the fuck up. What? But things at the time, I didn't think much of it. I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Wow, someone likes me.
Well,
yeah. So that was go on.
I mean, I had something like that happen to me, but it didn't deal with the gaming community.
Okay.
It was when I was young, and I was in Venezuela, and I was feeling a bit, alone because I didn't understand Spanish too well.
Yeah.
And there was this lady in her early 30s that wanted me. And, oh my God. She was actually going to meet me in the town and do crazy things to me. And, part of me wanted to. And part of me was scared to death that she'd just kidnap me and take me to another place and I'd never be seen
the biggest
again.
fear of all, young boys, 15, 16 years old on the
this
internet
is a trap.
in 2005.
It's too easy.
You don't know if they actually want to fuck you or if they actually want to kidnap you and kill you for your kidneys. Who fucking knows?
Oh, man.
The dangers of the internet.
But you know what? I learned how to type from Yahoo chat rooms.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
As you do. Learn to type with one hand. As you do.
Hey, I can do a lot of things with one hand now.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on. Like I was initiated into a clan in about 2006. Initiated. Like, these guys took it seriously. So a friend of mine at college, which would be like the later years of high school for you in America, he played Battlefield 2 and he told me to buy it. So I bought it. And I fucking loved that game. It was online only, which was interesting at the time because I was like, so I have to be online to play it? And he was like, yeah. So that's when they introduced me to TeamSpeak and all that kind of shit. And I don't know. I don't think the clan's still about. I'm kind of sad that it's not, because it was hilarious. Like the first ever time that I was utter shit. By the way, utter shit. I was shit against bots. That's how bad I was.
Oh God!
Yeah,
Those days.
I didn't know what the fuck you're supposed to do. I know you're meant to point and shoot and stuff, but what to do with the rest of the class, what weapons were good, how weapons work, rates of fire, etc., etc. And so
The spread.
Yeah, so these guys didn't teach me anything. All I know is that we all jumped into a Black Hawk one day. My friend would be the pilot, his friends would be like the gunners and all that, and then I was an engineer and repairing the Black Hawk as we were flying around, and we got kicked off the server because we were winning. So that was hilarious, and that's like
because hacksaws, man, hacksaws.
Yeah. We were just good. We just had a coordinated team, and we had the the little open bracket 3RL closed bracket tag. I don't even know what the 3RL stand for, but stood for even. Sorry, but yeah, that was good. That was interesting. That was when I was first introduced to the whole like gaming community stuff. And the thing is, I haven't been part of many. I've only ever been part of 3 others, and not for a long while either. So one was this shithole that I met you in.
Well, funny thing about this shithole, it has basically broken to pieces again, and a whole bunch of them left, and the guy is probably still trying to rebuild it with new people.
So basically,
car salesman. Hey, that's an insult in the States, okay? Used car salesman, that's an insult.
I can imagine. All right, so basically, to the listeners out there, so the way that me and Brian and I met, was I was on Reddit one day. Well, basically, I just got back into PC gaming, and I was watching a bunch of videos on YouTube, and I saw a game called Payday 2 being played, and it was a multiplayer game. And I was like, damn, I really want this game. This looks really cool. It looks really fun. And so I went and bought it on G2A because that's where it was cheapest, and I was broke as shit. And then I was like, shit, I need to play this with people. I don't know how to do this by myself. So I went on to Reddit, and this is when I got introduced to Reddit at the same time too. I went and I searched around. Well, actually, first thing I did, I went on to Google and typed in how to find people to play games online with.
No, you did not.
That's what I did. I typed in how to make friends online.
Oh, God, that had to have some shitty fucking results, too.
It took me to a place called Steam Friend on Reddit, this subreddit. And I read through all the posts and stuff, and I've worked out how you're supposed to lay out your thing and whatnot. So I did that. I made a post.
It had a very specific layout, too.
Yeah, it was like, your age, your gender, your location. Here's some fucking ASL shit right there.
Oh God, that's so 1990 somethings.
So and then you obviously describe yourself and shit. So I did that, and then like 2 or 3 people like left me a message. One, and they're all just recruiters at this point. So one guy recruited me and invited me to join one. I didn't stick around in that one, and then I joined the second one. And I got introduced, and this guy who we're not going to name because it's defamation at this point.
Well, you could say his name, but it doesn't matter because it's a common name. But
okay, so we're going to use a pseudonym here. I'm going to use the pseudonym Chris.
Bob.
Chris is a better name.
Okay.
So we're using the pseudonym here. So Chris would introduce himself and he would talk. And to be honest, right, his voice sounds like, when there's that fat guy in films with the really high-pitched voice that just sounds really nerdy. He sounded like that. And he was the leader and whatnot. And he really, and I'd never known that there was this like ranking order. Like you'd have the leader, and then you'd have like the admins and the officers, and and then
the board members too. You had those too,
and
you had co-leaders too. Jeez.
Oh yeah, co-leaders, and there's like this full-on ranking order. I'm like, okay, cool. So, and the good thing about this was that like they had like regular kind of like everyone meeting kind of thing, and they'd do like this monthly giveaway stuff. So everyone would kind of like donate.
That's the only time people would really be on is during the giveaways.
I mean, when there were people on, it was interesting. Anyway, so one time I was like, So I want to play Payday 2. I think I'm not a big talker. Like, I'm not very big on talking, especially in a new place with no one that I know. When I'm around people that I do know, then yeah, I'll talk. But most of the time, I just sat there listening to all these people talk shit for hours on end.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah,
that talk shit all the time.
Yeah, so there's all these people and talking shit for ages, and I am just. So one day I just piped up. I said, "Yo, I just want to play some Payday 2. Can someone teach me?" And then this guy with his deeply southern accent goes, "I'll show you how to play Payday 2." And that was Brian. And then we went and we played Payday 2. And the thing is, I did nothing in the entire game.
No, we failed, remember? We kept failing all the times, and we kept laughing about it. Yeah. And we just had a great time.
Exactly, and that's how we met.
And then I upped it and said, I want to meet you in real life. And part of you thought you was gonna, get kidnapped or something.
Yeah, but I mean,
flashbacks.
I mean, we're skipping over another bit here, which was where we both left the community because of, again, furthermore drama.
Oh God, one dictatorships don't work,
Yeah.
And that's basically what it was. There were all these leaders, but the only person that it mattered, it was him and his words. And
absolutely. So, I mean, it was interesting to see.
I don't flow with that too well.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see how these communities happen and how they work. Because a lot of people I've discovered, like, only play one game. Mainly it's like CSGO or League of Legends. And I'm not about that kind of life. Because, I went through that phase.
I can't get with that. I can't get with that.
Yeah, because, I went through that phase. So the following community that I was a part of was one that I started myself. And these were people that I knew in real life. And all we did was play League of Legends and Minecraft. So we would play Minecraft like once a year.
But some of those people you have were cancerous. Oh God.
Yes, they were. But
I wanted to murder them.
You hated them because they would eat food whilst on mic.
Okay, look, that is the most rude shit you can fucking do to anybody. It's like, hey, dude, how about you mute your damn mic? Quit being a bitch. I'm like, nobody wants to hear you chomping down on something. You fucking
So yeah,
be courteous. I ask for it. I demand it. Be courteous.
Oh Jesus. So that. Anyway, so basically all I would do is play League of Legends, even though I wanted to play something else, and I kept buying games constantly.
Well, you and I both have two big Steam accounts. Let me look what mine's up to now. What's yours up to? Come on.
542.
542 games? What's the worth, though, in quid?
It's about $6,000.
Yeah, right now. $12,222. 827 games. Now, I'm going to have a caveat. 46% not played.
Yeah, mine's much worse. I think 69% not played.
But my top game
Civ 5
is Civ 5 with 1,028 hours. That's saying something. The price per hour is 3 cents an hour.
Wow.
That's how much value I've gotten.
Yeah, you've gotten value out of it. I've got zero value from my fucking games.
Yeah, I look at it this way. Everybody's got to have their own little vice, right?
Yeah.
Some guys it's girls, some guys it's drinking, some guys it's being a douchebag in a gym.
Yeah.
We all know them. And mine, it's buying fucking games.
Same. Mine is buying games and not playing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That way, when somebody asks, "Do you have that game?" Yeah. You play it? No.
Yeah, that's pretty much mine. That's my life. That's my life right there. That's what it is. I'm like, I think, you know what the most annoying part is that I've got like all the games I want to play installed, just don't play them.
Oh
I'm
God!
Again, it's this. I've said in many
how many
episodes.
installed right now? How many?
Don't make me do this.
Come on. You don't have it up?
Installed 58 games.
I have 107 installed right now.
I know, but you've played more than I have, so the ratio is much worse.
But still, I mean, I haven't. See, the thing is, I get bored of games sometimes, and I just can't finish them.
Yeah, so.
I have to be in a mood to finish a game.
I think this is why I like short games more, because when I'm playing, say like The Wolf Among Us, right? You can play that in over across 5 days, 2-hour chunks each day, one episode at a time.
I love doses games, where you can do a level and stop.
Exactly.
Do a level and stop. And, a lot of people don't like it. They want to be able to do the whole thing at once. And no, dude, just let me take my time.
Exactly.
I mean, we've been playing Divinity together, and we've been doing that in doses.
Exactly. We take that in, chunks and getting through with that.
I think we get more out of it because we do it in chunks.
Yeah, we do it in chunks, and because we do it together. I would not play that game by myself.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
I think if you want to do that, you've got to be in a certain mindset. I've done those RPG games when I was a kid and when I was younger, and now I've got to do it in chunks. That's why I haven't finished The Witcher 3. I got to do it in chunks because I want to enjoy the story and I don't want to blaze through everything.
Exactly. But yeah, so which kind of leads us on, I guess, to our current community. So a year ago, we started our own community. We called it the Lost and Found.
I think it was more than that, wasn't it?
Well, it was around this time last year, but it was unnamed at the time. It was just called Brian's Server.
Yeah.
We gave the name in December.
I came up with it because, screw it. I said, you know what? I want to have a place where I can play.
Exactly.
With people that I don't want to murder.
Absolutely.
Although this one guy named after a dog, I want to murder him sometimes.
So, I mean, here's the thing. Our communities are a very interesting place. Like, we've got some really good people, and we had, I mean, they're no longer with us, rest in peace, some really shitty people. Oh, God.
I don't think it's so much shitty people as in they had nowhere else to go because no one else would put up with their shit, and they wanted an outlet.
Of course. And the thing is, I think we served that for them for a while, but then we had to get rid of them. Some people you just don't want to keep around.
This guy that had a number, my first admin, oh my God. He wanted to run the thing. And then got surprised when I said, no, we're doing it my way.
I remember that guy.
A number. We're just saying a number. We're not saying his name.
So this guy, he would bother the shit. The thing is, right, I was never like fully like active. I was just a guy that was there, and like don't say anything stupid in front of me. Anyway, so
you don't ask for much.
Exactly. Just let me fucking play some games. This guy would bother me whilst I was at work every day. He Brian said this, Brian said that. Oh, what about this? What about that? Blah, blah, blah. And oh my God, this guy would never shut the fuck up. I'm like, mate, I'm at work. Stop texting me. Stop talking to me. You dare talk to me, I will fucking have you removed. What is going on? The thing is, what I find fascinating is that you find a whole range of people in these communities. And I'm just surprised at how people find communities because it's so weird. How do you get there? How do people like the SEO on like all these forums and little kind of clans and stuff? That is fucking terrible. You can't find anything. Like at one point, I was looking for like gaming clan or community or whatever, and it's impossible to find anything that looks decent. But then again, a lot of places don't have like dedicated designers on their team, i.e., me.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is that I'd sit there and we'd have a bunch of people eventually. And they were as fickle as you could be. And then we had that one admin, Mr. Big. Mr. Big.
I remember this one.
Mr. Big, fucking hell.
Go on.
Pseudonym, of course.
Tell him.
At first, he seemed like a great solution to my problem of everyone runs to me to bitch about every stupid little thing every 5 seconds. So I basically had a pit bull that I unmuzzled. And this guy had a voice that would make Marlon Brando, sorry, what's his name? Marvin Gaye? What? The guy that sings really low, super low.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know. There's this guy that sings really low and stuff.
Yeah.
No, this guy makes him sound like a soprano. No, this guy, his voice is so low, it scares everyone.
Yeah.
Now, was he maybe a special forces operative? I don't think so. Was he a lot of other things? Maybe, but one thing he was is very effective in deterring stupidity. The problem is he went too far and got too crazy. And then he just went and fucked off and took people with him that played CSGO. But that's the problem when you recruit a certain kind of people that are only play one game.
Yeah.
You know, when they play one game and one person leaves, they all leave. And that's why I don't like to recruit anybody who says, I only play CSGO and TF2. Okay, I don't want you. But you know, this guy, he was really effective. I would be like playing a game, and here's the thing: when you're the leader of a community, people just come up to you for the stupidest, mundane shit. You know, oh, this guy said something mean. Did you just tell him to shut the fuck up? No, tell him to shut the fuck up. I mean, how hard is it to handle things? I mean, in this day and age, do they believe that Daddy has to take care of everything? Are we such special fucking snowflakes in this day and age?
Apparently so. Apparently so.
I mean, look, I was bullied when I was a kid. It wasn't fun. But guess what? I learned to grow a freaking backbone and not put up with things I don't want to. Because I don't have to. Am I going to stop the other person from enjoying their time? No. But maybe it's not going to be in the same place as me. If it's a gaming community and I'm running it and I think you're a total waste of society and I don't like hearing your shit anymore, you're gone. That's the good thing. I don't have to see you in real life. I don't have to see this guy named after a dog or this guy, Mr. Big. I don't have to see these people. Thank God. Because I'd want to smack the hell out of the dog guy.
So, what would you say in this new community would be the best moment that you've experienced so far?
You know, it's really just getting on and having that nice time of just playing something together and talking shit to each other. It happens every so often. It really it clicks. Like when you're playing Rocket League, I guess sometimes it really gets crazy. Or when we get that one person that asks the most crazy questions. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
And we question a lot of things about this person. But they're still here, and they're still cool, you know? I mean, right now, we're like 50 people-ish, I guess.
And approximately, yeah.
According to Discord. And probably 7 or 8 of those really aren't that busy, and they're for 1 or 2 games. And honestly, I have a good time with them. Most of them.
You know what I think the best moment was?
What?
The best moment, I think, was when we did the first meetup.
Oh, well, you know, I thought you were
Phil.
just talking about over...
No.
I thought you were talking about online.
No. I mean, with Phil.
Phil, that is his special time with James.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so how many people have you met, like, from online, like, gaming-wise?
Okay. Counting women for illicit meetups?
I did not know that people actually did that, but so, yes, include that.
6.
Okay. Tell me about them.
Well, the women, there's not much to really say. We met up and banged, you know?
Okay.
And that would be most of them. And, you know, there's a little thing to be said about not ever having to deal with a person in person.
Yeah.
And just having to deal with that online persona versus the person in person. And then it comes down to you and Phil. First, it was you.
Yeah.
And I remember you were standing there at the airport with a big bag of freaking computer stuff.
That's because you fucking sent all this shit to my house.
Oh man, and your mom thought I was like working for ISIS or something.
Okay,
Because I was
for
in
context
Iraq
to
at
our
the time.
listeners. Context to our listeners. Brian was working out in Baghdad for a year, and his holiday he came to London, and naturally he thought, Sid lives near London, he works in London, let's send tons of shit, because they don't have Amazon in fucking Baghdad, let's send a ton of shit to his house, right, and then he could bring all of that in a massive bag to Gatwick. To which I did, by the way.
Gatwick is what, 2 hours from your house?
Yeah,
If you
2
take
hours.
the straight train?
Yeah.
So it was a little ways. I remember I was like ordering keyboards, mice, tablets.
The watch.
You know, basically upgrading my arsenal.
Upgrading your entire life.
And oh yeah, I ordered a laptop too that time, wasn't it?
No, it's the second time. This isn't just one time, by the way, listeners. This is many a time. This is plenty going on.
Wait, 3 times I guess it happened? 3
Yeah.
times I came to see you, and each time I ordered a shit ton of shit to your fucking house, and your mother always looked at me funny because she wondered if I was working with ISIS, and I was like, no. She was really worried though.
Oh yeah,
God.
I mean, Jesus, all this electrical stuff just showing up in my house. I mean, like, my mom was like, "What are you getting into?" I'm like,
He's a gamer. He's not
just
a bomb maker.
Just plays video games.
Oh God. You know, and then I finally met your mom and your dad, and I think that they figured out that I was harmless.
Yeah.
I mean, what went through your head when I finally walked through the thing? I mean, were you worried that I was going to kidnap you later or something?
Well, no. Here's the thing, right? I know it was all going to be fine and dandy. All right. And if anything happened, we're in Gatwick. You're going to be under more scrutiny than anything else.
Cameras everywhere in
exactly.
England.
With your fucking passport that says you've just been in Baghdad. So I'm the one that's okay. You. So what went through my mind was, which one of these fuckers is he? Because there's so many fucking people coming through. And I forgot what you looked like.
Well, I sent you a picture.
I know, but you were wearing some big ass sunglasses. I'm like, I don't know which one this guy is. And so many people came through. And there's this one guy.
I was the most American guy you've ever seen.
Oh, no. There was another guy that came by who was more American. So this guy was in jeans, chaps, and a fucking cowboy hat. And I was like,
oh, God.
This can't be him. All right. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to find out who this is. So I was looking around at everyone. And I was like, oh, yeah, you got a car. So I'm waiting for like a guy with a sign that says fucking Brian on it. And I was like, okay. I'm looking for... And I was there for ages. Fucking ages.
Well, that's because our flight got... like delayed, I think, or something.
Yeah, but even still, and this guy didn't show up for fucking time.
It was immigration that was delayed me for like 30, 40 minutes. Remember?
Oh yeah,
I was bitching about that.
So yeah, that. And the thing is, the guy, your driver, didn't show up for God knows how long, and I'm just like, shit. Is this the wrong day? Is this the wrong time? Fuck. What am I gonna do?
And you checked your email because I sent you the Expedia stuff.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I'm here at the right time, at the right gate. Why is this taking so long? I'm all shifty and shit because I walk around with a big black coat and I got this massive bag on my back.
Well, plus your hair and all that, you know.
Yeah, that too. So, mate, that was stressful. But then you finally showed up and I was like, there we go, that's the one. And I was just making sure whoever walks towards the driver, because I eventually saw him, that's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a special time, and I mean, we had a good time, and it's weird because now I really doubt that we could ever break up, you know?
Yeah.
The community could just burn to ashes around us, but we would still talk and hang out.
Yeah, exactly. Albeit, I do have a beef with you. I can't believe the first time we went to Nando's, you went and got the steak. No one gets steak at Nando's. It's a chicken place. How are you gonna get?
Look! Don't give me shit. I'm an American. We do stupid shit all the time.
So I've noticed.
I mean, I went all over London and did okay, and I mean, after that, we did okay. After that Nando's fiasco.
Hey, did you eventually have chicken at Nando's?
Yes. Remember, I had lunch with your coworkers that one day. We had chicken.
Yeah, good times.
And they all thought I was the weirdest son of a bitch because I was working in Iraq.
I mean,
and was always upbeat.
Of course. All right.
I don't know.
You know what? Let's wrap up this episode with the rapid fire section. So, Brian,
okay.
I've got a list here.
Uh-oh. I don't like lists, okay?
Well, this is the complete list of the 50 best strategy games on PC.
Okay.
All right. I know you're a strategy guy.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm a run through this list, and you have 2 seconds to tell me yes, no, or whatever.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Number 50, Transport Tycoon.
Meh.
49, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Good.
Stronghold.
Which one?
Just Stronghold, the first one.
Meh.
Master of Magic.
What?
Okay, clearly you don't know what that is.
I mean, if
Warlords 2.
Nah.
Ruse. R-U-S-E.
No.
Battle for West North.
No.
The Settlers 2.
Meh.
Ground Control.
No.
Myth.
No.
Combat Mission Battle for Normandy.
No.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Yes.
Okay. Frozen Synapse.
No.
M-U-L-E.
No.
Tropico 4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Age of Wonders 2.
No.
Warcraft 3.
Yes, very much.
SimCity 4.
God, yes.
Startopia.
Meh.
Championship Manager Season 0102.
The fuck? No, get out with that shit.
Wargame Airland Battle.
No.
Warhammer 40k Dawn of War.
No, I don't have the money for that.
Rise of Nations.
Yes, good.
Gary Grigsby's War in the East.
No.
Dwarf Fortress.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. AI War.
No.
Galactic Civilizations 2.
Meh.
DEFCON.
No.
Unity of Command.
No.
StarCraft 2.
Of course.
I think StarCraft is just way overrated, but whatever. Men of War.
No.
Panzer Corps.
No.
Company of Heroes.
Yeah, that's good.
Neptune's Pride.
No.
Master of Orion 2. We're talking about the old one.
That's why I said
Solium Infernum.
No.
Dominions 4.
No.
Distant Worlds Universe.
No.
XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Absolutely.
Europa Universalis 4.
Yes.
It is literally the worst name for a game you could give. No, how is anyone supposed to pronounce that? What the fuck?
EU4, bro. That's what you call it.
I know, but still. Either way. Alright, now we're in the top 10. Jagged Alliance 2.
No.
Homeworld.
Yes.
Endless Legend.
Yes.
Total War Shogun 2.
Meh.
UFO Enemy Unknown.
Wait, is that an XCOM one or?
I don't know, it just says UFO Enemy Unknown.
If it is, yeah, but if it isn't, no.
Yeah, but that means you haven't played it, so you can't say.
Well, sometimes I play it and call it something else,
Okay. King of Dragon Pass.
No.
Supreme Commander Forged Alliance.
No.
Really? That's number 4 on the list.
I say no to it. It just didn't hook me.
Crusader Kings 2.
Absolutely. Where else can you cuck your own friends?
Nah, that's true. Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri. That's good.
And number 1 on the list. Can you guess what it is?
Civ 5?
No. Civilization 4.
4? You know,
4.
and people talk about the cartooniness, and Civ 4 was more cartoony than 6 is.
I mean, they're saying that Civ 4 was better than Civ 5. Civ 5 didn't even make the list.
But Civ 4 also had Leonard Nimoy doing the science stuff, and it had Baba Yetu.
It did have Baba Yetu, and Baba Yetu is the only song to have won a Grammy Award.
You know what, though? I think the Civ 6 song is really high up there now.
Okay. I mean, it's not as Christopher Tint.
I'll have to link it to you after.
But yeah.
I have to let you listen to it after.
All right. Anyway.
All right, so
well, I mean, I'm surprised Civ 5 didn't make the list.
Well, more people have more nostalgia about Civ 4 than they do Civ 5.
Even still. Anyway. I mean, I wouldn't put Endless Legend above Civ 5.
No, I wouldn't either. But Endless Legend seems to be playable faster and stuff like that, you know? And a lot of people they don't like to wait a long time to go through Civ games, but
True.
I like to go through it and do war at different times instead of, okay, let's wait for nukes and let's go.
Yeah. All right, then. So, that wraps up today's episode of I'm Just Playin. I hope you enjoyed this nice, I hope you enjoyed this more chilled back episode. Less ranting and raving, more just simple conversation. Really? Yeah, games. Video games.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like video games? Everybody loves video games.
I hope you do, because
otherwise I wasted a fuckload of money.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, how many... I mean, somebody once told me that I spent too much on video games, and I said, how much do you spend on beer and all this other stuff you got? And he says, more, and I'm like, shut up.
Exactly. Shut up your face, sir. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.